Hey guys, what's going on? It's Astranyx coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. So today, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Let me know if you want a follow-up video kind of like this, discussing more teams for all of the Doom Tower bosses. Today, we're gonna do just that. Talk about all 8 of the Doom Tower bosses, and talk about either incredibly easy teams or teams that can, you know, solo, duo, or 3-man team these bosses, and have them all in one video. Now, what I'm gonna do is link more in-depth strategy guides on all of these bosses, discussing the teams that we talk about in today's video, some from my YouTube channel and some from a variety of other amazing YouTubers out there, to really walk you through in-depth these strategies. But there's 2 bosses that I don't know of any, you know, solo, duo, or 3-man team that can be successful against them. So we're going to start with those 2 bosses first. First one is going to be very easy. It's Dark Fae, and she is she's a flower in the rain. She's the fairly easy boss, because essentially all you have to do is use your spider team, right? Use a champion like Lysandra or Deacon Armstrong to have the turn meter control kind of under control, and then just have a bunch of turn meter specialists. So you can have 2 Cold Hearts, as you see right now, with a Vizix. So this is Royal Guard, 2 Cold Hearts, Vizix, and Deacon Armstrong on Doom Tower hard. Level 40 right now, right? But if you don't have 2 Cold Hearts, no worries. You can use Ninja in place of one of the 2 Cold Hearts. And again, all the turn meter you need. You're tackling this boss very similar to Spider 20, very similar to kind of Fire Knight as well, right? A lot of turn meter manipulation, and you can see it gets the job done. I don't have any of these champions built especially fast. I think the fastest champion on this team is around 210, and that is Vizix. Everybody else is pretty slow, so it's a fairly easy boss, just using turn meter manipulation. Again, champions like Deacon Armstrong, champions like maybe Shatterbones, like Lysandra, with a lot of turn meter are going to be crucial for this battle, and not running kind of counterintuitively a bunch of tanky champions. Now, there's a great video on this strategy by YST. I'll link that video in the comments, or the description, excuse me, below. Let's go ahead and move on to, well, let's just move on to Bommal, right? Everybody hates Bommal, but by far the easiest strategy is using Burngary, right? Burngary can solo Bommal. He can actually solo the waves too, provided that you build him right. I'm going to link my video on Burngary and how he can solo the Bommal, because he's the most difficult champion in all of Doom Tower, guys. He really is. Very, very challenging. If you have Burngary but you haven't built him, I highly encourage you do so, because again, he's sort of like a cheat code for Bommal, which is nice to have because of how challenging the boss is. These are the stats that I have on Burngary right now. Very important to point out that I have him in both Immortal and Regen sets with these stats. Specifically, a lot of speed, War Master Mastery, and a lot of HP. He does not need to be booked for this strategy. You also must turn off his A3. So again, I'll cover this. A lot of HP, I'm aiming for 75k plus. A lot of speed, certainly over 200, ideally 215 or more. And then again, accuracy doesn't really matter. It's just HP and speed, and the Immortal and Regen sets, right? So Burngary video will be linked for you guys, how I can use this team to beat Dreadhorn. And of course, like I said, these champions are all basically just filler champions here. He can solo it because of his passive. His passive is this ability that heals his champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or an enemy dies. So whenever those bomb ads dies, boom, Burngary, excuse me, gets healed back up. As you scale higher and higher on Doom Tower hard especially, you're going to need more than just Burngary, unless you can meet those speed thresholds and the HP thresholds that keep getting higher and higher and higher. Now, this is not a, you know, free-to-play friendly team here. I mean, only 2 people in my clan even beat level 50 Dreadhorn. But I want to show you the strategy that I used. You might not have all these champions, but you might have a champion like Cardinal. I like to run 1, 2, or 3 revivers. These are the 3 that I chose. I have Resist Aura. I have a very high Resist Siffy. You guys can see right here. So a high resist reviver, 626 resistance, plus again the resist from the aura. And then I have another reviver on the team, 2 other revivers. I have the healer on the team, plus the damage dealer in Battle Khazar. And then I also have a decreased accuracy champion that cannot be resisted in Whirlum Frost King. Again here, guys, totally recognize that I'm sharing a pay-to-win team with you, and I didn't want to do that too much here on today's video, but this boss is so difficult that I wanted to show you the strategy. This took me forever, too, 21 minutes, but it was on auto. But either way, you can build a champion like Rector Droth as well with high resist if you're lucky enough to have Duchess with high resist and a decreased accuracy on the same team. Again, I am a big fan of running Whirlum for that reason, but even global rankings, guys, you're seeing a lot of Septimus, some Rector Droths, a lot of revivers, right? A lot of revivers. Drekstar Blood Twin is also very effective as a damage dealer. So those are some ideas. Borgoth also being used for heals. So those are some ideas for you guys. Let's go ahead and move on. So those are the 2 new Doom Tower bosses. Let's go ahead and talk about Scarab King. So obviously you can duo Scarab, you can solo Scarab King with just Urhos the Soul Cage. Now Urhos the Soul Cage is a Doom Tower hard champion who you get from the secret rooms, and it takes a long time to get him. So odds are 99% of the people watching right now do not have Urhos the Soul Cage, but I do want to show you the build anyway.
Because you're greedy, schemy, and selfish.
For him to solo, you want to build him with no speed. I do have 5 speed on him, but with 100 speed, that's beautiful, right? So a lot of HP and absolutely no speed and a lot of accuracy. That's all you need. It's a pretty easy build, and I should mention regen. He needs regeneration. Regeneration sets have really skyrocketed in value, and we're going to see that a little bit in today's video. So I'm not going to show you the entire run, but suffice it to say, you guys can see right here, I use Scylla Drakes in Trunda. They die as soon as I get to the Scarab King after a round or 2, but they help clear out the, the first 2 waves. Actually, Scylla Drake does stay alive a little bit just to help Urhos stay healed, but she's not necessary. I'm sure some of the best teams you can see right now, Urhos and a couple clears for the first 2 waves. So those Ethoses die early on. Same thing with Venus and Trunda. All the best teams here are running Urhos Soul Cage. Very, very slow, again, with regen set, so he's healing himself, and the Scarab King dies off of all the poisons. No destroy set needed. But don't worry, guys. I know what you're thinking. Dude, who cares about Urhos Soul Cage, bro? I don't have him. Who cares? I have another team for you guys as well. Vergis in Destroy Gear with a shield champion can duo the Scarab King. As a matter of fact, if you can meet the stat thresholds, Vergis can go ahead and solo Scarab King all by himself. So Vergis is really like a cheat code for Scarab King. I mentioned this a few videos ago, but it's cool that almost every Doom Tower boss has 1 or 2 champions who can basically build and abuse that Doom Tower boss. I'm going to link a video showing the guide with Draconis and Vergis, but suffice it to say that Draconis is not mandatory here. He's just helping out. There's other better shield champions to pair with him as well, such as Melga Steelgirdle and Valkyrie as well. So there's a few different options for the Scarab King. These are a few of them, and again, I'll have more videos to link if you guys are struggling with building these, these champions and these teams for the Scarab King. All right, guys, for the Nether Spider, really not the most difficult boss in the game once you have the right team, the right champions. I guess you could say that about every boss in the game now, couldn't you? But either way, I'm going to link a few different team composition videos in the description below. Likely maybe BGE, maybe Stu as well there, because truthfully, there's a lot of different teams you can use, a lot of different cleansers, and that's really the name of the game. Me personally, I love using Drekstar Blood Twin against the Nether Spider. If you don't have Drekstar yet, you can go ahead and use Frozen Banshee. Again, I will link that video for you guys in the description below. But essentially, you put them dealing the most damage with a bunch of cleansers. Mausoleum Mage, Reliquary Tender, champions like that, and you will be good to go. So Nether Spider, it's really all about overloading those cleansers onto your team. I particularly like the team, again, Scylla the Drakes for heals, Reliquary Tender. We have Drekstar Blood Twin as the lead, getting that accuracy off the aura. We have Mausoleum Mage, and then you can use any other cleanser in that last spot. So it can be a champion like Aox to remember. And again, I'll include a video. I think Stu has one on that comp for you guys in the show notes below. The idea here is this video is kind of like an encyclopedia, and then you guys can take a deep dive into any of these specific comps if you need to. Okay, the Griffin. So Eternal Griffin is another one who has some very specific teams who you can use to beat him. Now, one of my favorite teams for the Griffin is going to be using 3 champions, right? So again, a 3 champion boss that you can really abuse. I like running Drexstar Blood Twin. Drexstar is going to be in a lot of these teams. You can see that my Drexstar is in lifesteal gear. In his total stats, I use the same Drexstar for all of my comps, right? The same build. I have debuff accuracy, but I often run him as accuracy lead to get that extra 60 accuracy off of that aura, which is a really, really good, and it helps you build him and meet those stat thresholds. I am at 91% crit rate. Very important to say that I have Giant Slayer Mastery as my tier 6 mastery because I have him in lifesteal gear. If you're going to use Drexstar in lifesteal, you're really going to want to make sure that you do have that Giant Slayer. That way he's getting most of his healing off of the Giant Slayer procs because the damage itself is not enough to heal him significantly unless you have that Giant Slayer off of his A1 that's hitting 3 times. So I have a lot of defense, a little bit low actually on the HP here, a little bit low on the crit rate, but it gets the job done. Very fast, 230 plus speed is what I'm aiming for on my Drexstar. So that's the build that I use, again, in lifesteal. And then you can run these 2 champions alongside of him. As a matter of fact, you can just run, I'll link you to this video that I did, you can just run a Syl of the Drakes in regen. I want to see if this is the right Syl. No, that's the wrong Syl. I have 2 built up because my girlfriend, I love her.
And I don't like any of you.
Here we go. So this Syl of the Drakes is built very fast, 272. I don't care about her crit rate. I don't care about her crit damage. I don't care a ton even about her accuracy because it's against the boss here, right? She's only there for heals, right? So you can run her like this with very fast in regen set. So she's healing herself, she's healing Drexstar every time she takes a turn, or you can run her much slower in a relentless set. It's gonna do the same thing. I've seen people run her 160 speed in relentless and it still gets the job done as well. So 2 options for Syl of the Drakes there. And then you can solo or duo, excuse me, with these 2, provided your gear is good enough. But if it's not, no worries, because I have a 3rd option to add to the team as well for you guys. And you're gonna see this guy in a lot of comps for Doom Tower. It is Jareg. Jareg is incredibly good as well. You want to build him pretty fast, so 230 speed, a lot of accuracy because he does have the decreased attack on his A1, which is going to help you stay alive against these hard-hitting Doom Tower bosses, and with a lot of good support stats as well. So that is Jareg. So Jareg, Syl of the Drakes, and Drexstar Blood Twin. Again, I will link you guys this video in the description below. Now, there's another team too that I'm going to link you guys that is just Syl of the Drakes in regen and immortal at 250 speed, and Rotos in lifesteal built him fast 250 plus. Again, Syl of the Drakes in regen, similar to the build that we just showed you guys, right? The regen Syl of the Drakes build. And Rotos in lifesteal, building him fast 250 plus. I'm going to link a video by Scratch AK47, my man, in the description below to help you guys out with that build if you do have Rotos along with Syl, who most of you probably have. Now let's talk about the other Doom Tower bosses that are not currently on this Doom Tower. All right, for Frostbiter, there are 2 2-man teams that you guys can use to beat the Frostbiter on any level. One of them is more accessible and one of them is very hard to get, but I'll tell you both of them and link videos for both guides as well for you guys. So, number 1 team is going to be Siphi and Ignatius. There are not very strict gear requirements, but they can solo Doom Tower, even the final boss on hard. I will link you to a video where I did that as well. You can add a 3rd champion to the team to help support you if you don't have them fast enough or whatnot. But again, I think that Siphi and Ignatius, if you have both those champions and you have decent gear, you can get the job done. I have no specific sets on either of those champions. So the other team, though, is Syl of the Drakes in either Relentless Slow or Regeneration Fast, we just talked about this build, and Drexstar Blood Twin in Lifesteal with Giant Slayer or Regeneration Gear. Now, I have not tried this team against Doom Tower Hard, Final Boss, Floor 120, but I have seen many videos of this tandem doing very well in solo or doing it.
I'm so stupid. Damn it.
Why do I keep saying soloing on 2 champions? Come on, Ash. Duoing the Frostbiter. So check out those teams as well. Again, videos, I'll stop saying it, videos in the description below. About the Magma Dragon here. So Soda Dragon Gaming has a very good video on the Magma Dragon where he uses 3 champions. So a 3-man team. He uses Jareg, Sentinel, and Scylla the Drakes. Sentinel is a rare champion, but essentially, you're just looking for a champion that has a provoke at a high land rate on the A1 in Relentless Gear, so you can keep that provoke up all the time. So again, Sentinel gets the job done. I think he has around a 65% chance or so, maybe a little bit higher. You can grab Fearsome Presence as a tier 6 mastery on the defense tree, and that will add an additional 5% to land that provoke on their A1, right? So a provoker with a provoke on the A1 in Relentless Gear, paired with Jareg and Syl. Again, right? Jareg is going to be built fast and stalwart gear, 220 plus speed, and Syl, again, is going to be in regen, fast, 220 plus speed, or relentless, slow, 150 plus speed. I will link you to Soda Dragon Gaming on that one. All right, guys, so only one boss left, and it is the Eternal Dragon. So there's a bunch of different Eternal Dragon teams. I myself use Ally Attack, Creela Witch Arm, Phenax, and Turvold. So like a pretty, pay-to-win team, right? With some support champions as well. But there's a really good Eternal Dragon team that is very accessible to all you guys in terms of the champions. The gear requirements in terms of the speed is pretty high if you want to clear the final boss Eternal Dragon. But I'm going to link you to a guide by Stu Gaming. He's running Drexstar, Jareg, Doom Priest, Vrask, and Apothecary. Really, Stu has the best 5-man, free-to-play friendly, or I should say, like, more accessible, affordable teams for almost all of the Doom Tower bosses. So I highly recommend you check out his content. Really, Soda Dragon, Stu, and YST. Those are 3 amazing channels. Scratch too. I mean, everybody has a lot of good Doom Tower content, but those guys seem to be very heavy on Doom Tower. Again, Drexstar, he has fast and lifesteal for the Eternal Dragon, Stu that is. Jareg, he has fast around 250 plus speed when I say fast and stalwart. He has Doom Priest fast and stalwart. He has Vrask fast and stalwart, and he has Apothecary very fast as well, just in speed gear. Again, if you want to see all of those, gear requirements, I will link you that video, guys. So we went through all of the champions just to really quickly run you through again, or all of the bosses rather. We have Dark Fae in the YST Spider team. We have Eternal Dragon in the Stu, kind of, again, it's a 5-man team, but it was the best or most accessible team that I could find for the final boss on hard. So it's, 100% success rate, no matter the difficulty level. We have the Scratch team and my team for the Eternal Griffin, which is the Syl and the Rotos, or the Jareg, Syl, and Drexstar. We have Bommal Berengiri. We have Magma Dragon, the Soda Dragon Gaming team with the Jareg, Sentinel, and Syl. We have the Scarab King with Vergis and Draconis. We have Frostbiter with Siphi and Ignatius, or Syl and Drex. And we have, who did I miss? Yeah, I think that's everybody, right? All right, guys, so that is a rundown of all the Doom Tower bosses and a bunch of kind of fun teams to use to be able to beat them. And if you don't have all those champions, hopefully it at least gives you a little bit of an idea on what types of champions you can use to tackle these very challenging bosses in the end game of Raid Shadow Legends. Let me know if you like this video, guys, and as always, take care, guys.